What's wrong with the stupid TV? There's nothing to watch. Oops, never mind. I found something.
All right, welcome to the Last Rewind, where we're going to be talking about the premiere of WWE Monday Night Raw on Netflix. And this tonight felt like, or at least they were trying to make it feel like, a pay-per-view event. We had a lot of the wrestlers that are on both promotions, SmackDown and Raw, that were sitting in the crowd. We had some celebrities. We had some people we didn't exactly know that I didn't know that were celebrities. And we had a sighting, which is going to be an interesting back and forth, I swear it will be, between me and Jermaine, of a past WWE legend that I was kind of shocked and taken aback and actually maybe a little happy, a little bit, of his reaction when he came back. But we'll get to that later. We're going to go through the matches. We're going to give our ratings of how we felt about each match and maybe some in-between stuff. As we were just talking about that past legendary wrestler. And then we're going to talk about the final match that came tonight was between CM Punk and Seth Rollins and how that ended and how we rated that one. And then overall, how we rated this premiere of Raw on Netflix. How you doing tonight, Jermaine?
Good. I was excited about the premiere on Netflix. A little thrown off it. All of a sudden, I now have commercials, but we'll get into that. Was another story for another day. But I was excited for it, and it was. I thought there was going to be a bit more within the show. I tell you one thing, that was the quickest 3 hours.
It was. Maybe that's a good thing or a bad thing.
That like when it's on USA. That 3 hours don't seemingly go by that fast.
Yeah, it don't. All right. Well, let's get into the first match of the night. Well, let's just talk about the intro. The intro went through the history of WWE, then, now, and forever, showing all past wrestlers, of course, from Bruno Sammartino up to Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns now. Then Triple H came out, did his usual shtick, doing the "Are you ready?" the old DX line he used to do, got the crowd hyped. I'll tell you what, I have not watched a Clippers game in full. This was the arena he was in, the LA Clippers Stadium, the Intuit Dome, I think it was called. Very impressed with the lights in there. First, I thought it was like, damn, all this, because they turned the lights out. All this crowd has their cell phones lit up. They just had lights attached to every seat. I don't know if that's always like that or just tonight that's how it was, but I was impressed at the entertainment and the lights they had. They made it look like a whole concert event tonight. So that was good to start off with. Nice little intro to go with that. And then we come out and let's see. We have, The Rock comes out first and talks about his past and how he came up through the ranks. And this is how I know it was on Netflix tonight. There was a bullshit without a bleep tonight. I was like, wow, okay, this is what we're doing. We're going to be able to say every kind of word possible. I don't see how there's going to be any word bleeped at all. It's, maybe the N word would be bleeped. Maybe. I don't know. This is Netflix. I wonder. Or, maybe only the New Day they can say it.
Vince got away with it back in the day.
You know what? Dang, you're right. And that was, what network was that on? Was that USA then?
I want to say actually it was on either Sci-Fi or TNN, whatever.
Yeah,
it was not.
I think it was Sci-Fi. I think so. I don't know, but we're checking on that. But yeah, you're right. He did get away with that. Yeah, I'm not even sure Booker T would have got away with that. That is so weird. Only Vince McMahon could have got away with it. Right. Good impassioned speech by The Rock. He came in, got the intro, got the music coming, had to feel the veins, feel the electricity from the crowd, his usual stuff. And then, he left out. Then we came to the Roman Reigns versus Solo match. You want to give me your thoughts on that match, how it started, how it ended, and the stuff that happened after it, and then you can tell me your ratings about it.
To me, match of the night, 5. I give it a 5. I give it match of the night. That was a really good match. It had the theatrics, it had the drama, it had the interference, but it had the interference, but still a winner. So it had the perfect, ref got to be in the right place, right time, so he doesn't see the interference, so he can still call a winner type scenario. Kevin Owens interferes, does a stunner. They tie in Kevin Owens with Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes come out in a vest and a whole suit, and he hits the Cody cutter and some damn penny loafers or something. But that was a very good match. Solo sold, Roman sold. They had the old bloodline. I always thought Roman was gonna. Well, no, I didn't. I thought Solo was gonna win it up until watching the match. Once I started watching the match, I was like, all right, they're gonna give it to Roman. They were gonna give it to Roman. And by up until watching the match, I mean interruptions. When Paul Heyman interrupted the young lady because she was about to do Roman's intro. That's when I said they're gonna give it to Roman. That's when I said to myself, they're gonna give it to Roman. And you got Rock coming out at the end. There's a kind of a what's gonna happen here moment. They do a stare down and Rock hugs him. I think Rock says he loves them, and it leaves the wrestling mind and the wrestling fan open. What's gonna happen here? Actually, it's still interpreted as that. I don't think Rock tonight was in full final boss character.
No, not at all. He was very fan favorite tonight.
Yeah, he was more of a face tonight.
Yeah.
He was dressed like the final boss character, but he gave Cody a shout out.
Said Mama Rose.
He said Mama Rose, gave Cody a shout out. They gave some airtime to his daughters. So I believe he was more so just the face of the overall company and to get the crowd hype, but he wasn't in heel. He wasn't in heel mode tonight. I believe a little bit of it was peeking through. I believe he kind of was on the cusp of what him and Roman was going to do in that stare down. But I believe he just stayed with face mode for now. Time will tell what goes on there, but I enjoyed that match. Like I said, thought it was the match of the night. Why? I didn't get why it was first, but still a great match.
Okay, and you give it a perfect 5 out of 5.
I give that one a 5. Yeah.
Okay.
Again, the theatrics, the drama, the fact that there was a clear-cut winner, I give it a 5.
Okay. Let's see. I'm a little bit more. I'm the Russian judge on this one. I gave it a 3.8 out of 5. I couldn't give it a 5 out of 5. It was a good match. I think the most impressive thing about the match was Roman Reigns' Nikes. I want a pair of those. I think even the announcers even mentioned that at one point. Those were very nice shoes. I would love to have that. They were boots more so than anything, but I was very impressed by that. Good back and forth. Solo kind of started on the offense. Got to see a last ride through the table of Roman Reigns at some point. The Jacob Fatu interference. Chad came through, tried to interfere. See the moonsault kick out at 2 by Jacob Fatu. That added to the theatrics. I mean, I give you that. That seems like most of the when the bloodline comes out, there's a lot of interference and a lot of close calls for usually for Roman Reigns to win. But in this case, he was on the defense a lot of the match.
Right.
Until Jay came out and Sammy came out. That was exciting. Pop, fought off the Jacob Fatu and Chad. Helped him get Solo down a couple times, double team on him, got the kicks in. Roman went for a pin one time after that. Solo kicked out. Roman hit See, he was hit with a stunner by KO, which you mentioned. Cody Rhodes came out with the suit. Like, dude, at least come out with some athletic wear or whatever like that. Dang, wear some sneakers with your suit, because you're gonna twist the ankle or tear the ACL.
I don't know how he was so agile. And I'm like, he was like, there was not a button unbuttoned. He was in a vest. He had a tie on. He was like suited up. He just didn't have the blazer on.
All right. See, and then of course after that, Cody Rhodes hit his move on KO. Roman got the spear on Solo, wins the tribal combat and wins the Alfulu, and is now the only tribal chief. Not just the one tribal chief. He is the only tribal chief. And yes, as you mentioned, Rock came out. There was a stare, and they brilliant. Where there's a stare down. It's like, I was waiting on the hug. I said, when he puts that arm around it, could be a rock bottom. What's going to happen?
I was thinking,
I was disappointed that it wasn't. I was disappointed nothing happened, because I thought, because he played up to the crowd, because he gave Cody Rhodes a shout out, I said, okay, he's got the crowd thinking it may go one way, but he may switch off at the very end. So, and he didn't do it. So I was a little disappointed on that. So I guess we're just going to have to wait later, because, Rock being there is a big deal. Anytime he shows up is a big deal. So I'm like, something's got to happen tonight, because this is the premiere of WWE Raw on Netflix. Something crazy has to happen. Somebody has to switch up. Or I thought maybe he was going to interfere in the match, maybe to help Solo win, but none of that happened. I thought it was a standard bloodline versus bloodline match. I couldn't give it the perfect match, but it was not bad. It was above average. I wouldn't call it perfect, but it was above average. Now my question is, where does it go next? Where does Solo go next? Where does Reigns go next?
So later in the show, there was a promo, and Roman Reigns said something about January 27th, which is about 2 or 3 weeks from now. It's a Monday, so they're gonna do something on Monday to, celebrate his win. You ain't gonna see Roman Reigns up until then, probably. I think on that episode of Raw, something happens. I don't know. I don't know. Rock ain't gonna be around for a while. You may see Rock next on at Royal Rumble. He may be in the Royal Rumble, but
I don't know. He only makes short appearances.
But where it goes next, that's a good question. That's the thing of what this bloodline storyline, and it dates back to 2019. For me, the peak of bloodline was 2022. Once Roman won Ufala back, like where? Okay, now he's the tribal chief. He was fighting for the crown of tribal chief. Now, does he go back after the belt? I don't think the WWE fans or audience have the energy to give Roman going for the belt again. We gave it to him for 3 years. I don't think they want to see that. I don't think he can top what he did in that 3 years if he goes for the belt again. So where they go from here, I don't know. I think it's Rock and Roman. I think that's what's in the cards now going into WrestleMania. For Solo, for Roman, it's Rock. That's where they're gonna go. That's the angle they're gonna take. For Solo, going back to what we discussed, I think he's gonna hash it out with Cena. I think they're gonna revisit that. Okay. I think that's for Cena. I think that's where Solo goes going forward in this year. Cena. Now again, we'll probably get to him too, but I think Solo's new angle is probably going to involve John Cena somehow, some way.
Okay, well, that doesn't bring the bloodline together. Just because now you still got separate factions in between the two.
I think the bloodline itself, so now the bloodline is going to become more so like a nostalgia faction, meaning we're only going to want to see Roman, Jimmy and Jay, and Sammy. I don't think the crowd, the WWE universe, wants to see the Solo bloodline, like the old school bloodline, the bloodline that gained prosperity, and the bloodline that Roman was the true leader of. That bloodline will live in infamy, and that bloodline will be just we'll dig that bloodline up for appearances, certain matches.
Mhm.
You know, Solo was in that bloodline. They'll probably even revisit that. Maybe Solo wants to go back there. Who knows?
Hmm. I don't know. If The Rock comes back and ends up fighting Roman Reigns for the tribal chief thing, then possibly the bloodline on the other side, the heel part of the bloodline, facts with him.
I just I don't see with that the heel bloodline is famous, is known because of Solo. Call it spade a spade. I don't see Solo wanting to give Rock the title of tribal chief and wanting his bloodline to go after Rock to crown Rock as the tribal chief. He always, even before the night, he said he will crown Roman Reigns. I don't see him giving Rock that title, but I did see him giving it to Roman.
Yeah.
I just don't see it.
I mean, we're gonna have that match. I mean, I don't see Solo going up against The Rock though, because I mean,
hell no.
But that's what I'm saying. If The Rock is going to go, if Reigns were to give it up, if he were to lose, that is, to The Rock, and he gains that status, where does Solo go then? I mean, because you can't have two heels going after each other.
Like I said, I really do think I don't think Solo's gonna go mid card. I think Solo is where he needs to be right now. I think this loss actually is going to I think Solo needs to stay heel. Solo needs to stay heel. But I think now he just needs to be this pissed off dude because he lost and stay heel, be pissed off and F the bloodline and F Roman and F The Rock and in time someone takes him down the peg. And again, I keep going back. I think Cena is that guy going back to when Solo beat Cena in that last match, I think in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna revisit that throughout this tour of Cena's.
Yeah. Well, let's segue into that then. John Cena comes out to his theme music, still wearing the Fruity Pebble clothes from almost since he first came out. He had big jerseys and jean shorts, and then he started switching to the colorful clothes.
Well, that's when he was rapping and trying to.
My favorite version of him myself. It comes out and he says, "The time is now. The last time is now." That's what he said. The last time is now. I had a shirt, showed it to the crowd. I'm like, all right, it's going to make some money off the merchandise. Good.
Yeah.
And he mentioned something interesting tonight, which is going to play a role until his final match on this reunion tour. He mentions, I believe anything can happen. We're in WWE, but let's just face it. I've had a long losing streak. I think the losing streak is for 2,446 days. I hope it's not matches. So I'm guessing he's talking about days, which is still astounding for someone who could never lose at one point in his career. And he does say he wants to go into the Royal Rumble. He's going to win the Royal Rumble. I don't think that's going to happen because that would throw a lot of wrenches into the plans of who's going to fight for the championship. I can't see him in this company. I can't see him winning a 17th WWE championship. And I say this company because what we just saw with Daniel Bryan and AEW, they would do that over there. I don't think they would do that here.
No. This is just to go. I think one thing Cena said in that promo, he said he's looking to have some fun. I honestly believe that when he said it, I think Cena is going to have a couple promos. He may be more consistent. He's still not going to be there every day. I mean, every Monday and Thursday or Friday rather, but he's going to be a bit more consistent. Probably some via satellite stuff. I think he's looking to have his last hoorah. He's going to be in main event storylines and in main events. He's going to be in the Royal Rumble. I don't see any relevance to him winning the Royal Rumble. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't see it. I don't see why they would give him the W for the Royal Rumble when there are so many up and coming superstars who probably will serve the company better for winning it because they will actually be there.
Wouldn't be good for business.
Yeah, I think the main goal for Cena this last year is to have his farewell and to put talent over.
Yeah. Well, I think this is going to be the opposite of result that Ric Flair went through in his final year of wrestling in WWE, at least, where, he was like, I think it was like, yeah, as soon as he loses, he would retire, if I'm correct, right? Okay. Yeah. And he kept winning and winning. And then, of course, his last match was at WrestleMania. And then he lost to Shawn Michaels and that tearjerker. And it's going to be the opposite effect. Cena is going to lose every match up until WrestleMania. That he's going to win his final match. Even if it is solo, he's going to win his final match. He's going to lose every match up until then.
So that means Solo would not have the belt.
No. Solo's not getting the belt. His opportunity was either last year or tonight. Well, there's no match tonight, but if it was a match tonight would have been it. I don't see him getting the belt.
Good point. If he won tonight, he would have been a front runner for a belt. I can see where you're going with that. Especially with the the Roman who won tonight, Punk. We'll get into that later, but I can see where you're going with that. You're right. He probably won't get the belt. I do still see him and Cena going at it.
I picked Solo to beat Cena in the final match, but because of this losing streak that he mentioned tonight, now I would say Cena wins. Due to interference.
And you know what's also going to happen? They're not just going to fight at WrestleMania. Solo and Cena are going to fight well before WrestleMania. And Solo's going to beat his ass all year until WrestleMania.
Maybe. Yeah. Make it look even more insurmountable that he'll the match he'll have to face that he will not win. Yeah. So get the crowd on his side again. Like, I don't think I got it, guys. Yeah. I don't know if I even want to do this WrestleMania. And the crowd was like, no, you got to fight the WrestleMania. I don't have it, guys. I just got beat again. I've lost my 2,000th. Lost for not 3,000. Well, it may be 3. No, it won't. Not by that time. Maybe 2,600 and something by that time. Yeah. I've lost my 2,600 match. It's time for me to retire. I'm going to retire at Backlash or whatever the match is before WrestleMania. That's probably after Backlash. But whatever the match is before WrestleMania, I'm going to retire here, Armageddon, whatever it is. And then he's like, somebody's going to inspire him, sorry, or, whatever. Expire him. That could be something. And he may beat his behind that night and then make a surprise return at WrestleMania. Like, you know what, I'm actually going to fight this last match.
I do want to see when Cena goes and have this farewell tour. I do want to see some old rivalries coming back with him. I do want to see a reignited CM Punk Cena something. They had some good stuff back in the day, and I do want to see something with them on camera as far as a feud, a scuffle, a disagreement, something. I just want something to go there.
All right. Well, let's move on to the next match. This is the women's championship between Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. Let's see. Rhea Ripley. Let's see what she got. See, she won. I think this match was like a 7 to 10 minute match. Rhea Ripley, of course, won, giving her the Riptide, and then she gave it to her twice. Matter of fact,
twice.
uh,
Perverted ass pin.
yeah. Then Dominic made an appearance in the ring, and he wanted her back since she now was the new women's champion. And he offered a hug and a truce. And, he saw this coming from a mile away. She stepped back a little bit. And I said, yep, she's about to kick him in the nuts. And there she did. She kicked him in the nuts. He went down. But before she kicked him in the nuts, she gave him a riptide. I was like, okay, well, maybe that's kind of impressive. All right. Dominic is not the biggest person, but he's not the smallest person. So kind of impressive there.
Yeah.
And then a wasted appearance, I would say, came from The Undertaker. I was kind of surprised. I was like, oh, the bell goes off. The tolls for Rhea Ripley. What's this about? Is he going to go to the ring? Maybe chokeslam Dominic too? Is he going to go in the ring at all? Is he going to get on the mic and cut a promo, something? No, he rides around the ring halfway first, says hello, then goes up the ramp. This was a very short ramp, by the way. Seems like tonight. Rides up and gets beside Rhea Ripley. I'm like, okay. They both of them put the fist in the air to acknowledge the crowd. I was like, is she gonna get on the back of the bike and ride out with him? It's like, no, she doesn't do that. Maybe because Undertaker wife does not allow that now. And it just ends. The segment ends, and I was
they do a little look back in the camera together, fist up, and they go off. And Undertaker rides off to the side.
Yeah. He just goes to the side. He doesn't even ride straight to the back. He just rides to the side. I'm like, this is a wasted visit by the Undertaker. Like nothing was important. It wasn't needed at all.
It wasn't. It was obviously just a. They got a pop when the gong went off, but once the gong went off, like you said, it was just wasted. Like, okay, you got the gong, now you got the crowd. When you got the crowd on edge, do something now, and they didn't do anything. Frankly, the Liv Morgan Rhea Ripley match, I gave that a 3. It was mid. I did think Liv Morgan was going to win it. I did say that, but because I thought they would stretch this out. Well, I thought they would stretch it out until WrestleMania, but it's been ongoing since last WrestleMania. So obviously, I guess this is the ending of it, so to speak. But I gave it a 3. It was some good back and forth.
Right.
It was some good back and forth. Rhea Ripley obviously was the dominator of the match. She hit her 2 riptides, and once she hit the first one, I knew it was over. I can just feel it. Like Liv Morgan wasn't kicking out of that, and they had to have a title change. If there was going to be any title change, it was going to be that one. I think that's the only title that was on the line. So I gave it a 3. Not bad. Just I was expecting more of an interference. Liv Morgan got Raquel Rodriguez. I was expecting more of an interference to delay the 1, 2, 3, just like they did with Solo and Roman. I mean, I was just expecting a crescendo before the 1, 2, 3, and there was no crescendo before the 1, 2, 3. Can't hear you. Can't hear you. Can you hear me? Go out. Me. Go out. Hello? Okay. It was the Liv Morgan. It was a good match, but I was just expecting more. I was expecting more in the crescendo before the 1, 2, 3. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So overall, hello. Okay. Like I said, good match overall, but I needed more. I needed more with the especially having the women's title on the line. Having the women's title on the line, it would have been made for a better match if they had more of a crescendo in the 1, 2, 3 to give it more of a pop for the crowd, but overall, like I said, not a bad match. Yeah, my fault. So yeah. So and then in the next match, the next couple matches, we had Jey Uso and Drew McIntyre. Um, that match right there was not not terrible, but I would give that match to Jey Uso and Drew McIntyre match. Give that about a 2. You know, there was more drama behind that match that we could have played off of with the Usos and the bloodline scenarios. You know, yeah, there was more drama behind that match that we could have played off of.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. I don't know what happened. Oh, okay. I'm back.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was talking about I was talking about the Jey Uso and Drew McIntyre.
Okay.
I need WWE to figure out what they're gonna do with Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
He goes like lying in the weeds sometimes. I don't think for him to be fighting Jey Uso on this level of Raw. I just didn't see it. I think Drew McIntyre is a bit more of a top tier star over Jey Uso at this point for this particular episode of Raw, the premiere.
I thought he was going to be elevated from the CM Punk matches, honestly, as a heel, and he deserved better matches in this match here.
Correct. You go from CM Punk, and you had some classics with CM Punk.
Great to Hell in a Cell.
To being with mid card Jey Uso on the premiere on Netflix, I just think they could have done something better with it. I mean, decent match. I give it about a 2.5, but I think Jey Uso. Drew McIntyre is way better than what WWE is giving us to him.
Yeah. And I gave him exactly that match, exactly that, a 2.5 out of 5. I thought it could have been a better match. I thought could have been a better pairing than those two fighting against each other. Those two.
Better pairing, yeah.
You know, before the match started, of course, the crowd was very hype. It was like a concert-like thing. Who's the person that came out with him? What rapper that came out with Jey Uso?
Travis Scott.
Travis Scott, okay.
Getting high?
Okay, right. Yeah. He came out there, crowd was hype, doing the yeet and whatever. Michael Cole's behind getting on the table, embarrassing himself, dancing on the table. I'm gonna get on the table too. It just looks stupid as hell with him to do it, but it was entertaining. That was probably to me the most entertaining part of the match.
So that's the thing about Jey Uso. He's an entertainer. He's gonna get the crowd hype. But he's not gonna win many matches because his character is designed to get the crowd hype and to get the crowd going. Drew McIntyre is gonna win more matches over Jey Uso.
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre is more of a wrestler than an entertainer.
Yeah. I was hoping, like I said, Drew McIntyre would have gotten a better match as a heel versus a top tier opponent, not Jey Uso. And this is making Jey Uso look better. I guess this is pushing him forward. But where is Drew McIntyre? Where is his career about to go after this match?
Even if he didn't have a match, they could have gave him an encounter with Rock.
Something, yeah.
Something that does not put him in a mid-card frame. He could have cut a promo with Rock, and he could have been on the receiving end of a rock bottom. It just would have been better for his character right now.
Yeah. Cody Rhodes, somewhere with Cody Rhodes. I know they're on, two different things right now, but somebody big. I felt Drew McIntyre deserves the fight. Drew McIntyre deserves his title reign again. That he only got to have a decent one during the COVID era. He needs a one where the crowd's actually around this time.
Well, see, that's his whole gimmick now. The fact that he's bitter because his only title reign was when it was COVID and no one was in the crowd. So he's coming off as this bitter asshole because his only title reign was then, and then Bloodline came taking over. So that's why he's so hell bent on taking out the Bloodline.
Yeah, well, it's going to be perhaps they could have him join the heel Bloodline. Like Sammy is on the face Bloodline.
It would make for a good storyline. It would.
Yeah.
It would. It would make for a good storyline, but the one drawback in that is Drew McIntyre is
Scottish.
A bigger star than anybody in the heel Bloodline.
Yeah.
Maybe Solo is kind of creeping up there, but that's it.
All right. Well, let's go into something that was a little bit more interesting. One of the more interesting moments of the night. It wasn't a match. It was an appearance. This is the legend we said that showed up tonight. And
not Undertaker.
Yeah. I'm be honest. I expected a mixed reaction when he came out. Mm-hmm. But Hulk Hogan came out, I was actually surprised. I mean, when I think about Raw, again, I don't think about Hogan. You think about wrestling overall, but I don't think about Hogan when he comes out and on a Raw night or anything. I don't think about Hogan at all. If anything, I think about Monday Night Nitro. I don't think about Raw. So, but Hulk Hogan made an appearance, real American, which in today's climate has a different meaning when you hear it now. When you hear a real American now, you think about politics now when it comes out. I won't go deep into that. Hogan comes out
that he did make an appearance on January 6th.
Good point. Didn't even think about that. Didn't even
the day
think
that
about
Trump
that.
officially got in office.
It's a good point. Did not think of that. Hogan came out, does his usual thing, plays to the crowd, puts the hand to the ear type thing. Of course, let's say, and you heard Real American, but you heard a cascade of boos tonight. I was not expecting that. And, I thought maybe, the crowd maybe had moved on from those racial video and audio, or audio mainly, that came out, or what Hogan had to say. I don't know if this is, what I think? I think a lot of this is people have seen a lot of these stories about Hogan, and people have dispelled a lot of myths that Hogan has said, like he was supposed to be the face of the George Foreman grill. He was going to be a UFC fighter. He was the recent one I heard. He was supposed to be, I think, Keanu Reeves' part in Speed.
I ain't never heard that.
Yeah. So I'm like, I think.
So you're telling me Hogan was supposed to be opposite Sandra Bullock?
Yeah.
I can't see it.
Yeah.
I can't see it.
He's supposed to keep her calm the whole time on the bus when the bomb was up there. Well, let me tell you something, Sandra Bullock. You got to keep calm in times like this when there's a bomb under the bus. Keep the speed limit on 60 miles per hour. Did you stop yelling at me? I can't be calm if you're yelling at me.
With Dennis Hopkins in the movie strapped with a bomb on him. No, I can't see it.
But he claims that these are one of his claims, amongst a litany of other claims he has made where people have found out that he has been lying. I think that added maybe with those audios and a bunch of other crazy stuff he has said, I think people are not in love with his character anymore, or in love with Terry Boulder anymore. Or maybe they look at him as Terry Boulder and they can't separate the two anymore.
So I think there's a few reasons the Hulk Hogan character is not going over anymore, and WWE should just let what was be what it is, what it was. One, I don't think it has a little more to do with the racist comments, but I think it has more to do with the fact that his core audience are grown men now and grown women now in their 40s, damn near 50s. And when he was popping, we were little kids. And our kids don't give a damn about eating their vitamins. He can't spiel that crap with the younger generation of wrestling fans now. They don't give a damn about eating the vitamins and then saying the prayers and all that. That positivity that he once spewed out in the 80s does not work for today's kid. That's one. Secondly, his gimmick is tired. The whole rip your shirt. He ripped his shirt and he had a Netflix shirt on under there. The gimmick is tired.
With the beer too, the Real American beer.
If I have to pick when I kind of was digging Hogan, it's NWO. I'm talking peak prime NWO. I ain't talking that come back to WWE NWO. No. I'm talking Eric Bischoff, WCW NWO, when he turned heel. That's kind of when I was kind of digging Hogan back then. But like even before NWO, red, white, and blue Hogan, eat your vitamins, say your prayers. I never really felt that version. The version of Hogan I always felt was NWO, black and white, spray paint the belt, that Hogan. But now, I mean, you can just the booze was just it was more than a few. And no one he cut some pointless promo about his beer. I mean, it really had nothing to do. It had nothing to do with wrestling, but he tried to tie in wrestling or his his tag. He's saying something about Andre the Giant. I was like, he's done. He's done. He's done. And at this point, I generally believe that it's his audience are grown ass people now.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with that. I don't think I can't say that that has anything to do with the boos this time, because you got Haxum Jim Duggan still yelling ho. Got Sergeant Slaughter. He still gets cheers when he comes in. He wasn't ever in the military either.
But that's the nostalgia act. If you stay away for so long, the nostalgia act will get you the cheers. Hogan can't keep his ass away.
He's been gone for a while though.
He's gone from WWE, but he still has the gimmick at the damn RNC with Trump. He's ripping the shit off.
Okay, that may have a point where that might be the reason why he's getting, because people are split when you nominate someone who you're with. Like, people were mad at Taylor Swift for going with Kamala Harris. So she had a split crowd after people found out she was going with her. So that might have something to do with it. I can go with you on that.
What I'm saying is, even when it's non-wrestling related, he's still in Hulk Hogan character.
Yeah. So I don't think anybody would have booed Randy if Randy Man was alive, or Ultimate Warrior if he was alive. He was doing that, staying in character. We would have loved that. He was staying in character. I don't think nobody would have booed that because of that. No, not. When Ultimate Warrior came back, nobody was booing him when he came back for that last hurrah to go into the Hall of Fame. He stayed in. Ultimate Warrior stayed in character when he wasn't wrestling. He stayed in character just being a gym teacher. He was the same old Ultimate Warrior. I don't think nostalgia has anything to do.
Ultimate Warrior didn't get as much airtime as Hogan.
Well, yeah, not totally, no.
You just said it. Hogan has been lying for years. This nigga talking about being in Speed.
That's why, yeah. That's why I think it is. Nostalgia? No, nostalgia makes people love you. How many times does The Rock come back? And he still gets those cheers or whatever like that. He can't stay away, and he stays in character all the time. In fact, he stays in character in his movies. He's never different. I think that's why I said I thought you were half right. I think people want to cheer for him based on nostalgia, but where I say you're half wrong is because I think people know about those tapes. Him siding with Trump. I'm not, if you want to side with Trump, that's fine. But we all know there's a division between Trump and Kamala Harris voters. Right. And he made he drew his line in the sand of who he supported. He probably got booed for that. Then when I say you're right, where you mentioned the newer crowd, they don't know about nostalgia. They only know this version of Hogan. They only know the last 10 years of Hogan that they've learned about. That, damn, this dude's lies all the time. He has a son who almost got, someone. Well, yeah, he almost got someone killed. He's, I think he's still in the hospital as a vegetable, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think he died. He might have did die. The guy he got in a car accident with, drunk driving. Then, the tapes, the sex tapes. Him, I think he was cheating on his wife at some point. And then, of course, like I said, the audio where, he uses the N-word, kind of flagrantly, saying everyone's racist. That's what he was trying to say. I think that plays a part. This generation doesn't know the real American hero, Hogan. And maybe that's what mostly is at this crowd turnout. I think that's what it is, mainly. And again, the line drawn in the sand of who he sided with during this last election.
But you can easily say that, remember when Taker, he sided with Trump. When him and Kane came out and they sided with Trump. What I mean, how can I put it? Taker sided with Trump and Taker got a pop.
Okay.
Hogan sided with Trump and Hogan got some boos. But Taker still plays, he's kind of mysterious to a degree. Like when it came out that Undertaker was siding with Trump, I don't think people were shocked that he sided with Trump. I think people were shocked that he was going political.
Yeah, but you only got one thing you can say bad about Taker out of all the years. What other thing can you add to Undertaker that you can say, "Oh, I really hate that guy"? You have unlimited amount of stories about Hogan.
That's true.
And then this.
The Hogan stories are piling up. And then again, if there's any opportunity for, I don't know, redemption, if you will, apology, I don't know, cut a promo saying how you're always going to be here. He wants to talk about this was to promote his damn beer. I mean, Stone Cold got beer.
Go right through that, yes.
Stone Cold got beer. Could have brought.
Why wasn't he there tonight? That's a good question. Would have thought he was going to be there tonight.
Or Randy Orton.
Or Randy Orton, you know, somebody else. But you know, I don't know. I think it's just a culmination of all the things he did. Even Undertaker has a bad story about Hulk Hogan, lying about him hurting his neck during the Tombstone when he was Zombie Undertaker, and then going back to see the footage, like his neck never touched the mat. He doesn't even like Hulk Hogan. So I mean, no one seems to like Hulk Hogan when you talk about it. They made that video about Ultimate Warrior, self-destruction about Ultimate Warrior. You know, Bobby Heenan, like, no one likes him. No one likes Ultimate Warrior. There should be one about Hulk Hogan. I don't think many people like Hulk Hogan now.
Well, like you said, I think people liked Hogan at one point. I think Hogan's skeletons are coming out now. And
look, I was the biggest Hogan fan. Let me tell you, in the 80s.
I was always a Flair cat. I appreciate what Hogan brought as far as their rivalry because everyone wanted to beat Hogan. So Hogan was the quintessential face, but I was always a Ric Flair cat back then.
But still, all in all, I was still, despite all that I've named, I still was shocked that it was majority boos. Such strong boos. It was kind of, I won't say I was embarrassed for him, but it was, yeah, I was surprised.
For the boos and him struggling to rip off that damn shirt.
Oh, come on, man. That was probably like some tough polyester or something like that.
Yeah, it ain't like that old flimsy yellow shirt he used to wear.
Yeah.
That was a Netflix shirt. They got some cotton on there.
Oh, yeah. That was pre-washed cotton. All right. Let's leave there. Let's go to the last match for tonight. We got CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins comes out with his appearance first. Gets, crowd goes wild. Comes out in a outfit that I would say looks like a pleather couch, made it with one of Undertaker's outfits when he fought Kane. The long leather outfit that covers his whole body with a little diamond in the back or whatever. I was like, okay, so let me see if I can take this guy serious with his outlandish outfits. It was pretty tame. I didn't mind this outfit tonight.
For him, it was tame.
Yeah, better than a lot of his other, stupid outfits. Looks like his wife should have wore. This one, actually, I can see him wearing, and maybe some alterations. Maybe Undertaker could have wore. It comes out, and then CM Punk comes out next. And I want to see if you peep something interesting when they showed a graphic of CM Punk when he came out. They named him, stated he was a 5-time champion. Did you peep something weird about that? Five-time world champion.
Okay. No, I didn't peep anything. Go ahead and tell me.
Okay. I peeped. Now, Ric Flair, he's a 16-time champion.
Right.
And they count NWA, WCW, WWE. But CM Punk, 5-time champion, he won 2 WWE championships, 3 World Heavyweight Championships. They didn't count AEW. He would be a 6-time champion if that's the case.
They're not going to do that. That's for especially going into Netflix, and WWE is trying to just be apart from any other wrestling organization. It would be dope if they did that in time, just to start counting any championship with any company that you work for.
If they buy them, I bet they will.
That would be dope if they ever do that. I mean, they eventually did it with WCW, so it'd be the same way.
Yeah.
But that would be dope. I didn't peep that though.
Yeah. Actually, let me get it back. He'll be a 7-time champion because he won it twice. AEW. So he'd be a 7-time champion. But now, as of now, he's a 5-time champion. Okay, so he comes out. Let's see, we saw some highlights where, Seth hit a GPS on Punk. Kind of surprised at that. Punk got thrown out, or he rolled out. Punk hit a curb stomp on Seth. They're like, okay, it's one of those matches where they're going to be using each other's finishing moves. Seth, at some point, hits another GPS. Then Seth hit a pedigree on the table, hurt his knee. Thought they were going to play a little bit more into that, where his knee was, got hurt from hitting the pedigree on the table. And I thought a little bit more of that was going to be worked on during the match.
I thought it was going to be worked on from a different angle to the point where, pedigree, Triple H, CM Punk.
He wasn't going to be able to get up or something to do it, to finish him.
I thought maybe CM Punk would, play off the fact that, every wrestling fan knows the history between CM Punk and Triple H. They patched things up, but there was an opportunity to just kind of, and Seth Rollins was a Triple H guy. There was an opportunity to just kind of give a little bit more drama to the match.
Yeah, I thought Seth was just going to be making Seth harder to maybe get on the top rope to finish a move where he had CM Punk where he needs to be to finish him off, and he couldn't do it because his knee was going to give out. Thought they were going to play more into that. Surprised as much as CM Punk is cerebral at playing on people's injuries or playing on the injury he has himself. Surprised they didn't really get into that. Let's see. He hits another pedigree in the ring, Seth Rollins on CM Punk. I'm like, geez, he's pulling all the stops out and he still can't beat him, which pretty much kind of told me that, what was going to happen next. See, they go back and forth in the ring on their knees and get up. Seth at one point put a buckle bomb on him and a curb stomp on him. I'm like, wow, this is telling me what's going to happen at the end of this match. Let's see, Punk, he puts the curb stop on him. Punk gets a foot on the rope at a 2 count. And let's see, then Punk gets thrown off, well, not a power bomb, but he gets suplex, I believe, off of the turnbuckle. And he rolls it up and let's see. Yeah, he rolls it up and hits it with a GPS. Let's see. He hits one and then hits another one and pins it for 1, 2, 3. And that was the end of the match. I think it was about a 20-minute match, maybe 15, 20-minute match. I gave it a 3.7 out of 5. And I thought, with the hype of it, I expected to see more back and forth, with them using their moves, seeing more one-sided with, and maybe this was supposed to display how much Seth Rollins hated CM Punk, but, a couple pedigrees, a couple GPSs, a couple curb stomps, and he still couldn't beat him.
It was more so, it was more so like who can humiliate the person the most by doing the opposite move. Obviously, like I said, there was some history with I would say history, but Seth Rollins has always done the pedigree. But again, pedigree, Triple H, CM Punk, there's something there.
Right.
After the second time Punk kicked out of the pedigree, I was like, Punk's gonna win. They're not done with that because the beauty about this storyline is no belt is on the line.
Yeah.
So it's not like I want a rematch because I want to. I'm entitled to a rematch clause because of the title. They're just gonna keep going with this. They're gonna fight at WrestleMania. It's not gonna be a regular match at WrestleMania. This was a regular match. It's gonna be some kind of stipulation match.
You don't think this you don't think this gonna be for a belt?
Who gonna have a belt by WrestleMania?
Somebody, because CM Punk. This is CM Punk's story year this year because he didn't go to the WrestleMania to main event.
Oh,
he's trying to main event this year.
You're right.
Now, he can win the belt before in main event, but somebody got to have a belt because he's got to fight somebody to
one of them are going to beat Gunther. Let's put him in the mix. Gunther has the belt now.
Yeah.
Punk or Seth, or they may do a three-way match. Who knows? But they're gonna put Gunther in the mix because he does have the belt. And let's face it, Gunther, out of Seth or Punk, they're both bigger stars than Gunther, and they're gonna put the belt on one of them to set up. You're right, a title match at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I don't know. I expected this match to be a little better than it was. I expected to see a match like this where people are using each other's moves. I wouldn't expect to see the first match. If it's going to be a trio of matches, I expect to see it on maybe the second or third one, not the first one.
Right.
You know, this is supposed to be a feeler, you know, and build on to the next couple matches. And again, yeah, it seemed more one way than than anything else. And it almost it's a way it kind of predicted for me where I said CM Punk's gonna win this match. Like he's throwing everything but the kitchen sink at him, and he still can't beat him. Mm-hmm. So how are they going to set up the next one? Which is one of these next second or third matches is going to have to be a specialty match. It's like the one with Drew McIntyre. There was two of them. It was a dog collar match, right? In the Hell in a Cell.
Hell in a Cell in that whatever that match is, where they slap.
Oh no, the bull strap. I think that's what it was. Yeah.
To your point, because where can they go now with this storyline? They got to up the ante on the matches. And to your point, someone has to have a belt. Someone has to be a champion. And they gotta do some kind of stipulation. They're gonna fight at least about 2 more times.
Yeah. This match didn't make me want to see another rivalry match. I would be okay if we moved on. Not like the Drew McIntyre match. The Drew McIntyre matches, I was like, yeah, we need to see another one because these guys really hate each other, and I don't think they got all the beating out of them right now.
I believe the promos was better with Drew McIntyre and Punk, honestly. And McIntyre McIntyre is coming to his own with telling some promos and storytelling. With Seth Rollins, the promos aren't bad with Punk, but Drew McIntyre's was better. I do believe they're relying more on the in-ring ability between them two as opposed to promos. But maybe they got to go with promos because, like you said, this match tonight was kind of blah. Like you said, finisher after finisher. There was nothing else other than finishers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd rather see more wrestling than I seen finishers tonight. Especially the first match.
Especially with them too. Punk's a good wrestler. So is Seth Rollins.
A
chance to put on a great. I mean, I get it. You hate each other, and at some point it's going to be a slugfest. But there was a chance to put on a great wrestling match and kind of prolong it, and then go for finisher after finisher. You want to do the finisher or on top of finisher? That should be your crescendo of the match. Right. Oh, he popped out of this finisher. He hit him with this finisher, and then you just keep countering the finishers, and that leads to your crescendo of the match. Yeah. I will say, an awkward. This was so obvious because I have never seen Seth Rollins do this. He kind of leaned over on Punk's back, and then he was in a position for Punk to hit him with another go to sleep. Mm-hmm. And I was like, all right, that was in wrestling they call it going home. That was the go home moment when he leaned on his back, and then Punk stood up. He was obviously in position for another go to sleep. And I was like, okay, now the match is over. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it made it a little too obvious, huh?
They made that spot in the match, yes, too obvious.
Okay. Well, let's come to the end of it. What do you think about Monday Night Raw overall? Do you think does this make you look forward to the future of Raw on Netflix? Does this make you want to see next Monday, if anything?
with the exception of it's obviously a more mature program now. You know, obviously the censors aren't going to be as strong because it's on Netflix. With the exception of that, I'm gonna be honest with you, Red. I was more disappointed. I was excited going into the night, but as I watched it, I really do think Solo and Roman should have been the last match, especially if that's what Punk and Rollins was going to give us.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
But going into the night, I was excited, but I'm not as excited. You know, I know every Raw isn't going to be like the premiere and star-studded like it was tonight, but this was an opportunity tonight. We should have saw some returns. I was hoping for some returns.
Oh,
no returns like earlier in the video. You said Brock Lesnar. There was no Brock Lesnar. There was an opportunity for Alexa Bliss. There was opportunity for Charlotte Flair. There was. It could have been better on a grander scale if we just. I think they just stuck to the card.
Yeah,
they stuck to the card, and which is okay, but they should have just went off the cuff a little bit. You know.
Yeah. I would say, this doesn't really make me want to watch Raw in the future. It was a good night. But yeah, like you said, this is the type of match that's not going to happen all the time. It can't, because you had to build storylines. But this was supposed to be like a pay-per-view type night. And I kind of understand why they went with the Roman Reigns solo thing, because it's the premiere and they're trying to get the early crowd that may be casual or non-casual fans watching. They're like, let's draw them in with this big story. And then let's build on that for the rest of the night. And let's hopefully we'll keep the audience here, because remember, this is a 3-hour show. So, you know, if it was a 2-hour show, yeah, maybe. But since it's a 3-hour show, not a pay-per-view where people pay for it unless they got a network, they got to keep the crowd going. They got to keep the ratings from beginning to end. So I kind of get that, why they did that. You know, it's not like a pay-per-view Mike Tyson fight where no one really comes to watch until, you know, Mike Tyson comes at the very end. They want to keep the ratings steady and then, you know, have a crescendo hopefully at the end. You know, which it sounds like they could have switched it up with Roman Reigns at the end instead of CM Punk and Seth Rollins. But I don't know if I have a lot of hope, slight more hope, because they can get away with a little bit more, because, you know, the sponsors on Netflix are a little bit different than they are on the USA Network or whatever network they were on at the time. Well, maybe not TNN, because they got away with a lot then, but they can get away with a lot more, I think, on Netflix than they can on any other network. But that's maybe it. Maybe they can say a couple curse words now and maybe bring in a DX like character again, group again.
Yeah, they can get away with a bit more some profanities, but overall, I was actually, in all honesty, I watched SmackDown this past Friday, and SmackDown wasn't bad because of the I think it was Tiffany. She cashed in the Money in the Bank, and that was a pretty good episode of SmackDown. I like the storylines on SmackDown. They got the Jade Cargill thing.
They
got some pretty good storylines on SmackDown. It's just that Raw, you know, was built up, and you know, it was what it was.
Hopefully, they're able to live off of it. Like I said, with Triple H heading the direction, you know, maybe the show will remain steady for the remainder of their contract on Netflix. So we'll see what happens in the future. But we're going to wrap it up on that. You know, this is us talking about WWE with their major debut on Netflix tonight on January 6th, as you so mentioned, with Hogan coming out there tonight. That might be the biggest shock of the night to me, versus the matches and who won. You know, there was no Did you have any surprise winners? I think everybody was supposed to win one tonight.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised at any win.
Yeah.
I wasn't surprised at any win. I wasn't surprised at any. No, I wasn't surprised at all.
Yeah, neither was I. You know. All right, well, yeah, no surprise entrances tonight. No Brock Lesnar. No surprise winner. So it was a kind of a average night tonight for such a major debut. But with that being said, we're going to wrap up the show tonight of The Last Rewind with me, Tremaine, and Big Red. I hope you guys are enjoying the content. Please make sure to like and subscribe to the show so you can see more of this content. And make sure you go out there and be kind and enjoy The Last Rewind. Y'all have a good night. Let me get to the outro. Peace.
Peace.
All right.